All right. Tyler Gross making his debut on Slap News. Power Slap number 11 going up against Sean Kilmartin. How excited are you to get there to Saudi Arabia and compete in front of a live audience?
Man, the opportunity is absolutely massive. So after coming off of season three, obviously most of us got straight to work, straight to trying to improve ourselves, and there's a lot of people still waiting for the call. So to be called for something as large as the Saudi card, it's incredible.
Absolutely. Each fight card seems to be getting bigger and bigger. But this is your debut. I want you to give me a quick 60, 90-second breakdown, kind of your background, what led you to Power Slap, and obviously joining the house for Road to the Title season 3.
So whenever I was younger, I wrestled for a good little while, got into a little bit of boxing, and obviously, in the area I come from, street scraps rather common. So I always grew up with a bit of a combat background. So whenever I started watching the seasons of Road to the Title, I figured it was something I could excel in. So I went ahead and put in the application, and to my surprise, a very short while later, they emailed back and flew us out, and that's how season three became.
Absolutely. I mean, you went up against Rod Olave, who's been proven to be, a good competitor up until this point. What has changed now, both mentally and physically, from you going into the house to where you're at now, going up against Sean Kilmartin at Power Slap number 11?
A lot more training. I've done, multiple like tons of different things actually focused towards power slap training. Whereas before, I used to be about 260 pounds. So I went down a long road of weight loss just to try to get back into what I consider decent shape.
Mhm.
So after we went through that, it was just kind of strength lifting, lots of cardio, lots of strength and endurance. And then so now I've implemented things for defense. Obviously, if you've seen my Instagram, I do a lot of work on my technique, just changing things up. Whenever I went onto the show, I didn't really, green to the sport. Very first match, very first time on stage. Wasn't sure how to apply power with the actual mechanics of a slap. It's not like a punch. It's not like any other thing you've done in actual combat. So just implementing a lot of different things, a lot of training methods given to me by Pono and some of the other guys from the house, just to really hone in how to apply power with heels planted and work on that knockout shot.
Absolutely, man. There's a lot to unpack there. I mean, I've got 4 or 5 questions from what you just said. But let's talk about, I mean, that's like 95 pounds you had to
Yep.
cut to be able to make 170. Man, I mean, congrats first off. But two, how did you actually do it?
So just calories in, calories out, man. You got to count everything that's going in your body versus the output that you're putting down to get rid of it. It wasn't even. I didn't know what combat sport I would end up in whenever I started losing the weight. I was just like this. I knew this was something I wanted to get back to. I knew that this was about the weight that I felt the most athletic at while still being able to apply power. So just went in a steep caloric deficit. I made sure to get in all my cardio, and for about I think it was something over like 90 days. I was working 7 days, working out 7 days a week, kicked that back to six. And now I run a solid at least 5 to 6 days every week in the gym regimen.
Awesome, dude. Compare what it was like street fighting to power slap. I mean, was it more or less than you thought it would be?
Well, I never hardly lost in a street fight. It's a lot different, It's a lot different when the arms are behind the back. So I think that's part of what I was dabbling on earlier. There is no mechanics of a punch that are matching up exactly with that of a slap. So whenever I stepped into the slap game, uh, I was broadsided. I was broadsided a bit, and I noticed that back on the show, my form was actually fighting completely against me. So whenever I first stepped in, I obviously didn't know very much about the differences.
Mhm. I mean, talk to me about Pono Paul and how he kind of took you under his wing a little bit, because I mean, honestly, there's been an impressive, winning streak of athletes that he's taken in and, helped prepare for their matches. He's got some, special sauce that he's teaching you guys.
Man, who hasn't he taken under his wing? That's I don't think I can name a single person from our season or otherwise that has a harsh word to say about him. That's a solid dude with a solid heart. And as soon as he found his way to this game, he started trying to see what he could do to implement changes. And I'm very thankful for the things that he has passed me along. But he and I started speaking actually the very like as soon as first day in, I seen him doing some pad work, and I was trying to get him to show me how he was applying as much force through the target. And from that day
Mhm.
forward, if I had a question, he was willing to help, and I made sure that I had plenty of questions.
Yeah, amazing, man. Talking about Sean Kilmartin, what have you seen of him, and how excited are you that you get to compete against him?
I just seen his match on season two, Road to the Title, Ed Slambo, and so whenever I figured out and I got the call of the opponent, I checked him out and I was like 6'3". That's another very tall stature for 170. And
Mhm.
then since then, there's been a couple of little jabs on social media and stuff, but I'm just gonna keep all my comments inside, and we'll let the performance on stage talk.
Yeah, I mean, 2 giants in that 170. I believe you're 6'2", he's 6'3". Talk to me about the mechanics of that. I mean, we've heard from some of the heavyweights that the box is relatively small for, larger guys, taller guys that have long limbs. Do you find any issue there? And, these, I guess, the 2 giants, the 2 towers going at it. Is that something that's exciting? Because I believe Rod's much shorter, I believe around 5'10", 5'11".
Yep. So
So,
as far as that goes, I'm sorry, do what?
yeah, go ahead, my man.
Got you. So as far as that goes, I've actually, done a lot of work on trying to work on how I need to be in the box because on my match in season three, I did feel a little cramped up, and so in my shot style didn't necessarily work out with that as well. So I do believe coming into this next match that the new shot style that I've implemented is actually going to allow me to perform better within that space.
Awesome. Are you, first time you ever leave the country? You excited to go to a new place, new culture, new language?
Yeah, I've been doing my research. I've been doing my research. So before season three, Road to the Title, I had never gone farther west than like Georgia. So first time on a plane was all the way out to Vegas. Second time on a plane is going to be, halfway around the planet. So it's a exhilarating experience. That's I can't stress how big the opportunity for Power Slap 11 truly is. It's crazy to wrap my head around.
Totally. I mean, each season comes, the roster continues to grow, less spots on these numbered cards. Were you surprised that you got that call? I mean, I'm sure it was incredibly hard waiting, not knowing when or if that phone would ever ring again.
Oh man, it was a real shock. So like I spoke to some with the other interviewers and other people, I'm a FedEx employee full time. And so I was just leaving from loading my truck in the morning and I noticed the email and I looked down and I was like, no way. And I didn't have
Mhm,
my passport yet because obviously I wasn't expecting a call this soon. I was hoping sooner, we all are.
mhm.
But I wasn't quite sure with how thick the roster is getting, how long I could be up on the shelf. So I went the very same day while trying to, work through my route with FedEx and worked out all the stuff to get my passport sent off expedited. Just made sure I capitalized as soon as I got the email.
Awesome, dude. I'm excited to see you there. One of the things that I love to do if you watch Slap News, I'm going to put you front and center. And if Sean Kilmartin is watching this interview, what do you want to say to him?
Sean, buddy, all the Facebook, all the stories and stuff, it's not going anywhere, man. We'll talk and we'll talk on stage. And I'm looking forward to seeing you January 30th.
Awesome, dude. Travel safe. Look forward to seeing you back up there on the table going up against Sean. All the very best. One last one. Shout out your Instagram handle so people can follow you going into your match.
Instagram at @the_Northman_slaps.
Take care, my man. Have a great day.
Thank you, brother.